This is Indie 102.3. I'm Alisha Sweeney. I've got a great indie session coming your way. The Chicago band Dehd is here. The trio is Emily Kempf on bass, Jason Bala on guitar, Eric McGrady on drums. But they're doing a little stripped down set for us today, which you will hear in a moment. And they're kicking off their spring tour in Denver. Their new album, Blue Skies, will be out on May 27th on Fat Possum Records. Great to see you guys.
Nice
Hello.
to see you too.
So I want to chat about this new album. I want to talk about a tour. But first, let's hear a song. What are you going to start off with?
I think we're going to kick it off with Control.
Because you know it only takes a minute. Yeah, I start out fine, but then I'm in it. Then the fever in my head starts to take its toll. Need you here the most. It's out of control. I'm out of control. I'm out of control. I'm out of control. Because you know it only takes a minute. Thought I was dancing with no one for a witness. And then the fever in my head starts to take its toll. Need you here the most. I'm out of control. I'm out of control. I'm out of control. I'm out of control.
From the upcoming album Blue Skies, it is Dehd with Control here on Indie 102.3, giving us a little stripped back look at the song that's going to kick off this new album, Blue Skies. Talk to me about this new album. It's your guys' third. Tell me about the genesis of it. And
I guess we just are always writing, and this one kind of came together organically like the rest. The only difference with this one, I would say, is that we spent a little more time in the studio. So instead of like 4 days or a week, we spent a whole month, gave ourselves tons of space to explore further our sound and our vibe. And so it was a very not stressful recording session for me personally. But
Mm-hmm. And kind of like before we started writing, it had been almost like a year since we had been writing songs. So when we all finally got back together, you know, it had been a long time since we've been in the practice space, since we like yelled into a loud PA. And so there was like a whole lot of this like new, fresh, new band energy, I think, like when we got back together and to record and write. And I think that like jolt of energy is like throughout this record too.
Like a bit of like euphoria or like joy, the simple joy of like being around your friends and still alive.
yeah. So with this album, you said, you know, you got a month in the studio versus like a 4-day recording. Was this because of pandemic? Do you think that time lent to it, or just being more established now at this point, a couple records in?
Yeah, I think it was just more of like a creative choice of like give ourselves more time to explore and like screw up and mess around, and then you know, stumble onto what you're going to hear on the record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was most of it written beforehand?
Oh yeah.
We started writing it all in 2021. And then we recorded it in the summer. So we kind of like just got together and like got regularly practicing kind of for the first time ever in our career. And then a few months later, we're like, all right, I think we're ready.
Yeah. Control actually was written in the studio, though.
True.
It's pretty cool. Sometimes the song will just pop out when we're messing around in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it popped up in the studio. It came out of you. How do you declare that this is going to be the song that kicks off the album then?
Great cue. You know, Jason actually is really good at sorting. Like we recorded like quite a lot more, like double as much as is actually on the record. And I think Jason has a skilled set of like making sure songs fit in the same family. And he usually writes all our set lists because he's just a genius at ordering things, the flow, the beginning and the end of the song. And so I usually rely on Jason's thoughts on that.
Yeah,
personally.
I mean, like I think it's like on this record, we really spent a lot of time stretching like with the idea of like what a song that our band writes sounds like. And we've explored a lot of new areas. And I think Control is a great example of that. It's like, you know, the first time that there's like electric piano front and center, and it's just so sparse that it was like, oh, here, like you put this record on and you've heard other Dehd records, and it's like, oh, there's like it sets the tone that there's going to be something new, surprises,
something different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, much of the same. But yeah, it's nice to start with something kind of, in general, I think in playlisting, it's like something kind of calm and like gets you in the mood. Because the first song, everyone's like really attentive, like they're ready. And then you like start pumping up the jam. And the last song is like the banger, the like epic, like sort of anthemic one. I don't know.
That's how we skew, at least. We like to blow it up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I just feel like you guys are having fun. Like it just the albums just sound fun to me when I watch sessions that you guys have done online. I just get that feeling from you all as well. Even when it's songs about like, you know, despair and everything. Is that like true to say? Are you guys like it's fun to record and to write albums together? And
You nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be doing it otherwise, really.
Right?
Like,
that's true.
but yeah, I
Well,
mean,
no, not everybody works that way though.
well, for us at least.
Yeah, for us it's like fun first. But also we all have like pretty manic work ethics, so we're all working really hard all the time, and then but fun comes first, and then this like undercurrent of just working our asses off. And but yeah, we do have a lot of fun. It comes out in the music, and it is based on like in the face of despair, you know, you got to hold on to what keeps you going. And for us it's like, you know, friendship, fun. I mean, like for most people same stuff, but it's cool to be able to like put it into the songs, and then it's relatable to a larger audience, and everybody can kind of hold on together, you know, because especially the last couple of years it's been completely psychotic, and it's like everybody loves to go to a show and like let go and maybe get a little silly, but it doesn't mean you're like necessarily ignoring life's darkness. It's just like getting some reprieve so you can handle it better when you have to or something.
Yeah. I love hearing that from you guys because, you know, you guys are a staff favorite of ours around here, and we're really looking forward to the new album, Blue Skies. You want to play another one from it for us?
Yeah.
Let's do it. This one's called Stars.
Stars above, I get too much. My heart ain't strong enough for me. I can't keep up. My heart ain't strong enough.
Yeah, walk, baby, walk, 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 me, baby. Talk, talk into the stars above. Yeah, stars above. Dance, baby, dance, 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 my baby. Jump to the cues, you know, you gotta cut loose. Hey, got nothing left to lose.
Too much, my heart ain't strong enough for me. I can't keep up. My heart ain't strong. Oh, stars above, I get too much. My heart ain't strong enough for me. I can't keep up. My heart ain't strong enough. I know I'll never make it alone. travel my way back home, looking for a face that I know. Yeah, looking out my window above, I got a great big heart for the city of
Stars
love.
above, stars above.
Stars above, I get too much, my heart ain't strong. Stars above, I get too much, my heart ain't strong. Enough, 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 enough,
From Colorado Public Radio, it's Indie 102.3. Alisha hanging out with the band Dehd. That's their song Stars. It'll be on the new album Blue Skies. Tell me a little bit about something about that song that you haven't shared.
Well, I started experiencing a lot more anxiety than I ever had in my life. And so, like, the first song that we played, Control, and this one are both kind of representations of me being like, oh, this is what that feeling is that everyone's been talking about.
Yeah, how do you get past that? Like,
I think just like admitting it's the first step, and then like going for good walks and finding, comfort in your friends and, romantic relationships, and just quiet time and trying to take it a little bit slow and put it in all perspective.
mm-hmm. So that one is a Jason song on the new album. Because some of the songs are just written by you, Emily, right?
We all write equally, but we'll tag them as like this is a Jason lead or an Emily lead or a shared lead. I think Stars is like leaning towards a Jason lead, but it's like a Emily and Jason song. Control is definitely a Jason song that I just support, and then like Bad Love is definitely an Emily song that Jason supports. It.
Mm-hmm. We write the songs together. It's just mostly dictated by who like writes the words and is singing the most.
Out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all very democratic.
I remember reading something one time in an interview about you, Emily, that they were like, Emily has an expansive voice.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you when you hear like a journalist write that about you?
Yeah, I mean, they ain't wrong.
It's true.
I just my voice is definitely my main instrument. I would say I only play actual instruments to support what I'm doing vocally, but I think I have the most natural talent in vocals. I just parrot things I hear, and everything I hear can be parroted back into a voice, or like I'll put characters to like vibes, like, okay, I want to be like a rocker dude from the 70s from the West Coast, and then I'll just sort of like, this is what I think that might sound like, and then I just try stuff out. And Dehd's a kind of band where we're all given, like, we all give each other space to like try and experiment things, and it's really fun because I push myself all the time, like, what can I do vocally? I don't really stick to one road.
Mm-hmm. Who's one of your favorite vocalists right now?
Good question. Who is? I'm trying to think of who I'm listening. I really like I like Christine and the Queens.
Yeah.
I like Charlie XCX's new album. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite vocalist, but I love like mainstream pop aesthetic.
Yeah.
Just like looking at the machine of it all and being like, damn, that's so cool. Oh, Caroline Polachek, for sure. Like epic. Her vocal expanse is like so interesting, and she does a lot of similar I feel like she does some things similar to me, where it's like she has the talent, but then she'll use it in a strange way. And I think that's really cool. Like, oh, now she's doing opera, like weird. And then it's like, now she's doing like, that sounds like a robot auto-tune, but she's just doing that in her throat. Like, that's insane. Like, I have so much respect for people who experiment in that way. Yeah.
So how do you describe Jason's voice?
Jason's voice? I've never described it. I think me and Jason, like, are very interesting puzzle pieces vocally. Like, people often get us confused. Sometimes, like, they don't know who's singing, this is really funny to me because
I
I'm
love
like
this.
so obvious, but I love that we create an androgynous persona via our voices. That is like very, it just makes me feel joyful inside because I love people looking at the band for the art and not like necessarily the personalities or the gender aspect or even like, yeah, it's like we go in and out of singing high or low and in like, you know, a traditional male or female, whatever. But the characters that we go into with our voices blend and then create this very androgynous landscape that I think is, I don't know. It was accidental, but it's like super, I'm like proud of it. But I don't know, Jason's voice changes around because he has like this higher register, but then he can also sing super low. And like, it's a surprise when he goes one way or the other, which I think I do as well. So it's kind of like, yeah, like a spiral, like we're going in and out of, I don't know how to talk about it really, but yeah, but I'm failing. But I will say on this record, Jason, I feel like really pulled, like took it up a notch vocally and like pushed to himself a little more to do, not like I'm going to sing better, but just I'm going to sing, I don't know, something, there's like more rawness or more heart or more like edges on it or something. Like I can hear it because usually it's like Emily's voice, Jason's guitar, and Eric's holding it down. But I feel like Jason took it up a notch with the vocals on this record.
Do you feel that, Jason?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was also thinking it's funny because our record label slogan is "We're trying our best," and I was like, that's pretty apt for how I sing. Also, it's just like just trying my best.
Yeah, both
I'm
of
not
us,
claiming to have a great voice, but here it is.
we
Yeah.
both like push ourselves to the limit of like cracking, and we do it publicly. I think we both have that ethos about singing. Like, let's see how far I can go, and I may not make it, but and it's in front of everyone, but so be it. Like we both do that, I think, and I think that's cool. So, yeah.
I love that rawness and realness and that and just the fun that you guys bring to your music, and that's kind of why I wanted to hear you guys talk about each other musically, you know, because it just, I don't know, like your songs are fun, they are relatable, and everything. Yeah, what was it like? You just signed to Fat Possum Records, right? You were on Fire Talk Records before that. How did this come about, or how do you feel? You're doing your best.
We're doing our best. I mean, we were like super blessed to be putting out records with Fire Talk. Our friend Trevor runs that label and put our last 2 records out, and then we happened to meet the Fat Possum people, and they were able to put this one out, and it's like super exciting, and it's just nice to have like people that believe in you, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, so we've been really lucky the whole way to have that. So, and yeah, believe in our, you know, weird, messy world that we created.
Yeah, they're like good at their jobs, but also fans, and they kind of swung in at the last minute, like out of left field, and they're like, ta-da, and we were like, okay. But I mean, our manager Amy is the best, and I definitely prop her with like keeping us on track, being like, no, 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 yes, and we're like, all right. So
I like
our
that.
mommy Amy,
A wise advisor.
our wise advisor.
So 833-636-DEHD.
Mm-hmm.
Your guys' phone number. You guys have a hotline.
Dial now.
Yeah, down now.
Oh, I dialed it right away when I saw that on Instagram a couple months back. How has that been? So this is kind of like something that you were doing
Yeah,
to just announce the album, right? But also to interact with fans?
yeah,
Is that-
exactly.
We've had the phone number for like
A
2.5
couple
years because we were doing it
Ah.
on the last record too, but that one was more like I think the original idea was inspired by like the rave hotlines, you know, from back in the 90s when it would just be like a recording that was like on a loop and you could just call in and get information like where the party was. And so we're like, well, this is where the party is. It's our record. And like it was like a fun way to just like make a bunch of silly sound effects and like put them on. I don't know. It's just like a stupid fun thing, you know. And like now it's like, yeah, I think more people have called it. And originally we were using it as a way that people could tell their like bad dating stories and stuff like that.
And then I was like reenacting them on TikTok, but it was pretty much a full-time job. And I was like, this is really hard. But we got like so many calls and I was like, oh my God. And now we're trying to get people to call to ask Jason questions about production and sound and tones, because that's his sort of wheelhouse. And we'll be releasing like videos of him answering questions, and we'll probably just keep prompting people to call with different like ask us for love advice or like tell us a story about your day, and just sort of like having a cool way to talk to people that isn't, I don't know.
The Instagram.
Yeah, that isn't dumb social media.
Yeah. I love the idea of it. I love that you guys are doing this. And speaking of love, this is like one of my songs of the year. The next track you're gonna perform for us is Bad Love.
Yeah.
I was a bad love. Now I can get some. I got a heart full of redemption. I was a bad love. Now I can get some. I got a heart full of redemption. Yeah, now run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some. Run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some. Run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some. Run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some. Give me some. Forgive me. Give it to me. Tell me what to do. To tell me what to do. To keep it. I need your loving. I wanna be your honey. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. To keep it going. Yeah, now run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some. Run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some. Run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some. Run, baby, run. Run from the bad love, new love, baby, come on and give me some.
Thanks for called Dehd.
Bad Love by Dehd. It's Indie 102.3 from Colorado Public Radio. Every time I play that song on the radio, I'm always like, here's the song Bad Love. I'm wishing you good bad love in your in your life. But that song is really resonating with our listeners. That's one of our most requested songs, which I love. Emily, that's a song of yours, right?
Yeah. I was sort of writing about what I think everyone can relate to, just, you know, having horrible dating experiences and like hoping for that new love. And I was trying to write about it from a reflecting point of not like looking for the one or the fairy tale or the heteronormative storyline that we're all like grew up with and taught, and sort of like I was speaking from like a place of independent woman who's super successful and busy and like, you know, bossy and in charge, and like struggling with finding partners that could mesh well with that vibe. And I talked to a lot of my like friends too who like relate. I was just like, I just want to write a song for those who are like, yeah, what the hell, like there's just crumbs out here. I'm looking for the feast, but it's not. There's none. And like how to deal with that, and you know, chill on your own and have fun. So yeah, looking for the new love is like a new paradigm of love that I haven't quite figured out yet, but
Yeah.
just trying to start a convo about it.
Hashtag relatable. So you guys, Denver is your tour kickoff essentially for the new album, right? This is your spring tour kickoff. Do you have any expectations for tour? And I preface this by saying we've been in a pandemic. I know you guys have played some tour dates over the last year and such, but do you have any expectations for this tour leading up to the album release?
I think like the biggest thing is that in all of our other records, we've wrote them while we were already touring also. So like we had played a lot of the songs before, but this tour, we haven't played like most of these songs. We've played a few of the singles that are out now, but like we'll be playing a lot of tracks that like literally have never been on a stage before. And so it's kind of fun and scary. And
Yeah, real raw.
a little bit of a science experiment.
Yeah. And for you, Jason, that you like putting together, like the set list for the night, have you tried out, well, I guess it's the beginning of the tour, so you probably haven't been able to try out any of these songs and see which ones slap, per
Not
se.
yet. Yeah.
No, that's what we're.
That's the kind of scary thing. You're like, you play it on the stage for the first time and you're like, well, the way we're doing it right now, people don't understand. Or maybe they do, and you were kind of surprised at a moment or something. So that like audience feedback and like sort of interaction that only happens in a room is something that I think I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah. And the songs sort of grow up on stage. So like you've got the recorded song, the song you wrote in the studio, the song you practiced with, and then once you get it, bring it to the crowd, it's like after you play it for about a week or two, then you're like, okay, now it's seasoned. The crowd has certain responses. They're like, well, that one doesn't do so well. Like maybe we won't put that one on. That doesn't happen very often, but but yeah, this tour will be a lot of like tonight we're gonna practice Empty in my mind at sound check, and then we'll slowly like put it into the set list. But it's like, oh God, hope we remember how to play it.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio today. Dehd's new album, Blue Skies, comes out on Fat Possum Records on May 27th. My name is Alisha, chatting with Jason and Emily of the band. Eric rounds out the trio, and best of luck on tour.
Thanks
so
Alisha.
much.
This has been another session from the Indie Lounge. Keep it here to Indie 1023 and find us online, indie1023.org.